Amazon just turned 25 years old this week. Throughout its existence, Amazon has absolutely dominated the e-commerce industry. But it's done much more than just that. This week, we'll be taking a look at Amazon's successes and how you, as a private label seller, can apply it to your own business. Let's take a look. I'm Darren, and this is On Trends. Bezos and company have done much more than dominate the e-commerce industry. Namely, they've created the biggest cloud computing infrastructure out there. They've also led the pack with their in-home assistants through Alexa. They've generated a ton of revenue through their advertising businesses, and they've now made a big splash in Hollywood through their streaming efforts. This week, we'll be looking at the far-reaching successes of Amazon and how those can directly be applied to your business as a private label seller as well. Plus, we'll be looking at the ZonGuru question of the week, brought to us by you. And this one's all about the Chrome extension launch budget, so you want to stay tuned till the very end of this video. All right, so let's dive into a few things that Wall Street analyst Tom Forte says can be applied to any entrepreneur or business owner through the lens of Amazon's far-reaching successes. All right, let's take a look. Number one, focus on your customers, not your competition. Amazon has been really successful at doing this. And as a private label seller, this is basically the root of the success of your business. If you start to understand your customers and you respond to them and you service them appropriately, everything else will fall into place. And number two, iterate, which just means make continual refinements to improve your efforts over the long term. I can speak from experience and let you know that this is absolutely key towards scaling and growing your Amazon business. Where my products began when I first launched versus where they are now is leagues different. The photos have gotten better, the listing copy has gotten better, the actual product itself, the packaging, the branding, it's all improved. And that's just through taking small steps that eventually lead to a much more polished and refined product. Number three, create a flywheel. The premise of a flywheel is simple. It's basically just a very heavy wheel that takes a lot of force to generate momentum and begin spinning. But with enough time and enough force, the flywheel will begin to spin on its own. This is just like your business as a private label seller. As you begin to make more sales and improve your product and stay in stock, Amazon will begin to basically help you out by improving your rank, and you'll find that without really having to do much, you've already proven yourself to Amazon and your sales will begin to generate and improve and build momentum over time. Number four, embrace change. Amazon is absolutely great at this. They embrace change by jumping into new industries, new categories, and they pivot and change when something might challenge them. This, again, is just another great tip as a seller that you have to build into your business philosophy. If something becomes difficult, new competitors enter the space, how can you outperform them? If you find new opportunities in a new niche, how do you launch a product and begin planning to expand into that business? Embracing change is key towards your success as a seller. Number five, losing money as a strategy. Matt Forte says this about what he calls LMAS. Amazon has perfected it. Investors subsidized the company for 2 decades, allowing it to subsist on the slimmest of margins while it continued to invest in making shoppers simpler, cheaper, and faster, and developed other more profitable businesses. While we don't recommend operating on very slim margins, we still say that operating on a 30% margin is about the sweet spot as an Amazon private label seller. We really like the idea of understanding your finances on a really macro and micro level and understanding where your dollars are. And Amazon isn't able to operate on slim margins without really smart financing. So understanding where you're investing your money and where more funds can come from is going to be really key towards your success as a seller as well. Okay guys, so those are 5 key business principles that have led Amazon to its massive far-reaching success and how you as a private label business owner can apply it to your own business. Now we're going to look at this week's question of the week. This one brought to us by Vince. He says, the Chrome extension has a recommended launch budget. Question, does this include COGS and FBA fees? All right, so this is a great question, Vince, and one which I think starts with just looking at the Chrome extension and understanding that you can actually hover over these icons to get a full explanation of what they each mean. So you can always hover and get a full read on what the cost of goods sold or what the launch budget is. And it's basically based on the COGS as 30% of the sales price and enough inventory to stay in stock for 3 months on page 1. So we're taking all of the information that's provided in the niche rater and the Chrome extension, mainly the average price of the products and the monthly sales, and we're able to tell you what it would cost based on those figures to pay for a product at 30%, because typically 30% is what your cost of goods sold should be, and then 30% goes to Amazon for the storage and fulfillment fees, and then 30% should go to you net, and then you have about 10% wiggle room for advertising and additional branding and marketing. So the launch budget does take into account the cost of goods sold. Really, it's just an estimate of what it would cost based on the COGS to stay in stock for 3 months, because we found that 3 months is a good gauge to understand how successful your business is going to be and give you enough time to actually reorder stock if necessary. All right, thanks again, Vince, for asking your question. Guys, if you want to be a part of the question of the week, just comment below. Let us know if you have any burning questions, leave them below, and you could be chosen as our question of the week next week. All right, thanks again, guys, for tuning in for another episode of Zon Trends and the ZonGuru question of the week. Make sure to stay tuned, like and subscribe to this content. We have some amazing things planned and ready to announce coming up here in the next week or 2 weeks. So you're gonna wanna make sure to stay tuned right here. All right, guys, thanks again. We'll see you next week.